It sounds a bit glib, but kitchen design has become one of the last kind of public spaces where, you know, forms of modernism, modernist form and minimalism has a kind of articulation in a way. It's all of these things together. It's R. Kelly, Sex in the Kitchen. It's sitting in Munich getting little flyers for €2,000 minimalist kitchens stuck through your door every day. And my interest in applied modernism and my interest in Annie Albers more than Joseph Albers, and my problem of I don't know what to do in this place. So it's not my kitchen, but it's my place where I work and think, just transferred into here.
The Giardini has a tradition of fascist architecture.
Well, yeah.
I mean, the main Italian building, of course.
That was always my first question to people. Not why was it built, but why is it still here? Journalists would say, well, why don't you knock it down? This would be really great. You know, you could knock it down. And I always said, well, the problem for me is I wouldn't know where to stop. Because sure, I could knock it down, but then I think I'd probably need to knock that down. Because it looks like a colonialist building, and then the Italian one's definitely fascist, so that has to go. It was, you know, it was intended to be a way of fighting the building without hiding the building. Not so much the domestic, but this idea of this other kind of scale. Partly it's just a formalist game. If you bring these scales into the building, everyone thinks this is a massive building, it's not that big. But if you bring in this 240, 60, 60, you get this very particular way of thinking. I thought a lot about Margaret Schutter-Lehoczky, who designed the Frankfurt kitchen, and it's contemporary. These forms are actually standard contemporary sizes, 60 by 60 by 240. And the Frankfurt kitchen's absolutely like based on a galley kitchen, like a tiny train kitchen or something. If you think of Margaret Schutter-Lehoczky, I was thinking about, the work isn't about her, I was just thinking about this woman. She's the sort of German who had the perfect century. She was the communist, she is the one who tried to free women from drudgery, she's the one that designed good kindergartens that were not fascistic. She's the one that, you know, went to Russia and then left as soon as she realized it was turning bad. Went back to try and start a resistance movement from within Austria in the middle of the war, immediately arrested, thrown in prison. In a way, she's a parallel history. I still wanted to find like the good German, as it were, the good, they exist. I mean, and I wanted to I kept this as a reference point, and I kept her in my mind all the time. The problem is, she left pretty late under Stalin, and the problem is going back into Austria or Germany in 1943 is one of the dumbest things you could ever do. And you know, there is no perfect narrative. Originally I wasn't going to be speaking at all, but I had this idea that I wanted to make an animatronic cat like in Sabrina the Teenage Witch that would have seen it all, would have seen everything, has been there in Dresden and Coventry, and also been there in the Great Depression, or been in Srebrenica when everything's gone to shit.
The cat would become a little pretentious over time. We were hoping you might tell us something, the boy would say.
I wanted to find like, what would you call it, like someone who could carry a narrative, would allow me to speak without it being a voice of God. Originally I was thinking, well, the cat would just speak on and on and on, endlessly about everything. It would be almost a parody of the kind of the Documenta catalogue where every subject is covered. In the end I decided to write a kind of fable and put it into the future tense. There would be this circular story about a cat that can speak, and the cat is smart because it can speak, so people read to it and it tells them things. And two children come and see it one day, and basically the cat has been depressed for a while and it wants some new ideas, but actually it realizes that more than that, it wants to be stroked and loved and played with, because since it started to speak, people have been playing with it and stroking it and touching it less and less. There's this thing at the end where the cat knows, because it's smart, because it can speak and therefore it can understand things and read and so on, that humans think cats steal their breath. But the cat knows that this is nonsense, but as the children come closer, he can smell their breath. and it smells of intelligence and wisdom and fun and so on. So it actually takes a little surreptitious suck of the children's breath, and as they start to kind of faint and reel and swoon, it begins to tell them the story of a cat that can speak. So it becomes this kind of circular narrative that tries to evade the idea of the perfect didactic voice, or the perfect way to account for these situations. Yeah, it's an anti-fascist work.
We have no school today, the girl will lie. The boy will look nervous. The cat will be wise and will know the school schedules. The cat will know that school starts in 5 minutes and the children will definitely be late.